Everything about Rafa is centered around his exosuit, defines everything he is. Everything Tediore is, they're the Walmart of guns, you just use them once and throw them away. So that's kind of the idea of his exosuit is Tediore is just using this soldier, and when they're done with him, they're going to throw him away. Usually, when we look at a character, we try to focus on one little piece of them, and like, could this be an action skill? We start developing the character from there.
For Rafa's arc knives, what makes that particularly badass is that focus on melee combat. We don't typically do it that much, so having something that just really drives into it and getting into the mix of things and being able to just cut away at enemies is a much more unique sort of playstyle than you'll see with a lot of other Vault Hunters. This tree will allow him to do things like buff his movement speed, buff some of his damage, allow the knives whenever you attack people in melee to actually do AoE shot damage, and also do things like replace the dash attack that he has with Elite, changing the element to corrosive.
Let's drop some acid!
Rafa's arc knife action skill puts him in third person, where he becomes this super agile ninja with dual laser swords. He slices his enemies, he marks his enemies to deal more damage to them as he's damaging them, and finally he ends with something we're calling Blade Fury, which just does massive amounts of damage to every enemy he's touched with his action skill.
For Rafa's Peacebreaker Cannons, what makes that particularly badass is the sort of automatic nature of it. Once you pop it, it allows you to just up your overall DPS, you point at whatever it is that you want to see die, and you get to just unload on him.
This is kind of an ode to Mose and Axton, where he puts a turret on his back and it just starts blasting away enemies. Eventually you can start customizing this with rockets, shotguns, or even lasers.
The APOPHIS Lance lets you basically set aside a little cannon and fire it as you need. However, because it does affect your gun handling a little bit, we wanted to make sure that this is something that feels good when you use it, because you're trading a little bit of your gunplay. All the augments focus in on it, allowing you to do things like get more charges for it, so you can fire it more often. Action skill cooldown, crit enemies more often, and also just a general overall buff to it.
One thing I'm known for around the office is I love putting explosions on everything. I try to put explosions wherever I can. If I don't know what to do, add an explosion. So with Rafa, I kind of insisted I wanted him to be all about grenades. So he has a few builds where he just gets to spam grenades constantly for shooting his gun, using his action skill, whatever. He can even double his grenades. I think fans should be excited about Borderlands 4 is because we've expanded on everything we've done previously. With Borderlands 4, with how deep our skill trees are, my character is always just going to be different than your character. I think fans are going to be excited for Borderlands 4 because of the build diversity.